Om Sarvadharma Sthapakatvam Sarvadharma Swarupakaha Acharyanam Mahacharyo Ramakrishna Te Namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam, and we continue our learning from the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. In the previous session, Sri Ramakrishna gave a bit of a different type of teaching than his regular teaching, where he normally teaches the path of devotion. He says the path of jnana, the path of discrimination is extremely difficult for this current age of Kali Yuga, where we cannot get rid of our body consciousness. So let us not get into that stage of saying, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmosmi. Better, I am the child of the mother. I am the servant of my master. I am the friend of my friend. And follow that path of devotion. Start with the process of Vaidhi Bhakti and then get into the Raga Bhakti, then get into Prema Bhakti, the right Bhakti, and attain the God. Now Sri Ramakrishna, this time, he says, he gave another teaching, the teaching of Karma Yoga. And Sri Ramakrishna says, this world is the field of action. When we come to the world, he was addressing the question by a devotee that why God has put into this world. God has put into this world to perform certain actions. And Sri Ramakrishna says, through actions, we attain the knowledge, we attain the God, we attain the ultimate truth. The action that has been indicated to us by the Guru. Do this, do these things, and you will attain your goal. Do not do these things. The Guru tells us both. What is to be done, what is not to be done. And following those actions, one can attain jnana as well as bhakti and ultimately the attainment of the God. And we also had teaching from Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi, our Ma, where Ma had also told the same thing about the work. Through work alone can one remove the bondage of karma, not by avoiding work. One cannot avoid karma by even if one wishes, I am not going to do anything. Even if a person is sitting idle, it is not that that person was not doing anything. Till the time the body breathes, some work is going on. So, both Sri Ramakrishna and Ma, they have this teaching for the devotees that constantly do some work. And Ma had further told us that one should not be without work even for a moment. Why? She said that if the mind is kept engaged in some kind of work, it doesn't go to the silly things. It doesn't engage in silly thoughts. But if you sit idle, the mind is likely to indulge in various kinds of thoughts, various kinds of useless thoughts, various kinds of thoughts which are not going to take you forward anywhere on your spiritual journey. So that was the teaching Sri Ramakrishna had given, and we also came across the teachings of our Ma. Now today, Sri Ramakrishna is sitting in his room at Dakshineshwar. Devotees have come, and one devotee has come. He is visiting him for the first time. The devotee's name is ADHAR, and ADHAR was a deputy magistrate, again a position of a higher position in the society. He was a deputy magistrate and about 30 years old, a young man, and he had something to ask Sri Ramakrishna. So ADHAR asked this question to Sri Ramakrishna. Sir, I have a question to ask. Is it good to sacrifice animals before the deity? It certainly involves killing. Now, it looks like Sri ADHAR was a person of softer, emotions. Killing animals for the sacrifice, for Kali Puja, Durga Puja, they sacrifice goats and other animals. So that has been the traditional practice of sacrifice. And he therefore raised this question that is it good to sacrifice animals before the deity? Now, what Sri Ramakrishna's answer is now, typically anybody would have thought Sri Ramakrishna being the great follower of the Divine Mother, he would say yes. But Sri Ramakrishna had a different answer, in fact. He said, the Shastras prescribe sacrifice on special occasions. Yes, that is written in the Shastras, that is written in the scriptures, that you perform these sacrifices. Such sacrifice is not harmful. Take, for instance, the sacrifice of goat on the 8th day of full moon or new moon. Now, on these 2 days, they say that the scriptures, they say that a goat can be sacrificed to the deity, which is okay as far as the scriptural injunctions are following, scriptural practices are concerned. But Sri Ramakrishna says, but I am now in such a state of mind that I cannot watch sacrifice. He says it may be there in, if it is there in the scriptures, that means yes, it is okay. It is okay to sacrifice an animal to the deity on some specified days, like the full moon day or the new moon day. But Sri Ramakrishna says, now I am of a different nature. I cannot see sacrifice. I cannot watch a sacrifice. And then he said, to such an extent, also I cannot eat meat offered to the Divine Mother. Now, normally the prasad which is offered to Ma Kali, Bhavatarani, it is a meat prasad. But Sri Ramakrishna says, even if it is prasad, I cannot eat it. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, therefore, if I happen to get a plate of prasad which has meat in it, what I do? I just first touch my finger to it, and then I touch the finger to my head, because mother should not get angry with her child. It is a prasad after all. It is prasad, so one must consume that prasad. But Sri Ramakrishna says, I am now in such a condition, I cannot eat meat. So I just touch that bowl with my finger. I touch and then touch the finger to my head. So mother is happy. Okay, my son has at least partaken of the prasad, whether through mouth or putting that finger on the head. So Sri Ramakrishna says, again in certain state of mind, I see God in all beings. Even the animals which are sacrificed, I see God in them. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, even in an ant, I see the God. And at that time, at that time when I see God in all the beings, if I see a living being die, I find consolation in the thought that it is the death of body, the soul being beyond life and death. And when Sri Ramakrishna says, when a person dies, if I am watching a person dying, I feel kind of a elated feeling that, oh, it is just the physical body which is made up of these Pancha Mahabhutas. The body which is made up of air, water, fire, ether and space, that has died. The soul never dies. Sri Ramakrishna is giving a great teaching here. The great teaching of the immortality of the Atman. The body perishes. That's fine. We have come and gone in so many bodies that every time a body takes birth, it has to die. But the Atman remains the same. The Atman is immortal, and Sri Ramakrishna has taught us here the immortality of the soul. The soul being beyond life and death. Soul has no life and death. Soul is eternal. This is the teaching Sri Ramakrishna has given through answering this question of whether sacrifice. Okay, it is the physical body that has been sacrificed, done with, but the Atman remains the same. Then Sri Ramakrishna says that okay, all these things are good for discussion. But Sri Ramakrishna says one should not reason too much. One should not think too much. Oh, is it good or bad? Should I do it or not? Rather, one should Love the lotus feet of the God. It is enough if one loves the lotus feet of the mother. Too much reasoning throws the mind into confusion. Too many thoughts, whether or not. All these kind of thoughts. Too much of thinking, too much of discussion, too much of debating, it creates whole lot of confusion, Sri Ramakrishna says. You get clear water if you drink from the surface of the pond. Now Sri Ramakrishna is giving another practical example. He says, you are thirsty, you want to drink water, you find the lake. When you go to the lake, when you go to the pond, if you take water, collect water from the upper surface, you will get the clear water. But put your hand deeper, stir the water, and it becomes muddy. It becomes dirty. You cannot drink it. So don't get into muddy reasoning. Don't get into the discussions that are going to create all the confusion whether I should do it or not. Just devote yourself to the lotus feet of the Divine Mother and carry on with it. Put your hand deeper and stir the water, and it becomes muddy. Therefore, pray to God for devotion. Pray to God that let me have only the water from the surface, which is very clear, crystal clear. No impurity inside, no dirt inside, no mud inside. Just give me pure devotion to the lotus feet. So that was Sri Ramakrishna's advice to others. And then coming to the devotion, he said even devotion is of two types. Now Sri Ramakrishna gives here the example of devotion of two devotees of the Lord, Dhruva and Prahlada. Dhruva, who became a pole star. Behind Dhruva's devotion, there was a desire, Sri Ramakrishna says. Dhruva was devoted to Lord Vishnu, no doubt about it. But there was some hidden desire behind his devotion. He practiced austerities to gain his father's kingdom, to gain his father's love, to gain his father's attention. He practiced all those devotional austerities. But Prahlada's love for God was motiveless. Prahlada's love for God was absolutely selfless. A love that sought no return, like he had told about that pure love. The pure love seeks nothing in return. That was the love of Prahlada. Whereas Dhruva's love had some kind of a tinge of selfishness attached to it. He wanted to please his father. His father had disowned him and his mother. So he wanted to please his father. He wanted to gain the attention of his father. And therefore he started all those devotional practices. So Sri Ramakrishna says, even in devotion there are differences. One can be with selfish motive, even if it is tiny, even if it is a meager, even it is a minuscule motive, but still that selfish motive remains there. But look at the devotion of Prahlada. He didn't have any selfish motive. His love for Lord Vishnu was pure love without seeking anything return. And then one devotee asks him, how can we realize God? Here, Sri Ramakrishna says, through that kind of love that the Prahlada had, through that kind of love. But one must force one's demands on God. Sri Ramakrishna says, it is not that you meekly start loving God. At times, when God is not listening to you, when God is not addressing your prayers, answering your prayers, then you have to force your demands. But one must force one's demand on God. One should be able to say, oh God, will you not reveal to me? Will thou not reveal thyself to me? I will cut my throat with this knife. Be adamant, be forceful. And Sri Ramakrishna says, this is the tamas of bhakti. Even bhakti has tamas. And Sri Ramakrishna says, adopt it. Get angry with the God, get upset with the God. Scold him. Are you going to do it or not? Otherwise, hell with you. Otherwise, I'm not going to keep myself alive. You have to grant me that boon. You have to grant me your vision. You have to grant me that love for your lotus feet. Be forceful. Use tamas. And this Sri Ramakrishna always said. The Prakriti has provided you with these three resources of three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. Use all the three gunas to propitiate that love for the divine. And then the devotee asks, Can one see God? And again, Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. Yes, surely, with emphasis on surely. He says, no, it is not a mere talk that you can see God. Surely you can see God. We can see both aspects of God. And Sri Ramakrishna says, if your devotion to the Lord is so sincere, so desperate, so much with so much longing, you can see the God in both aspects. You can see both aspects of God, God with form and God without form. One can see God with form, the embodiment of spirit. Again, God can be directly perceived with man with a tangible form. You can actually see God face to face. Alternately, you can also see God in a man, in a tangible form, through the incarnations. Seeing an incarnation of God is the same as seeing God himself. If you are seeing an incarnation of God, Krishna, Rama, Buddha, Jesus, you are as good as seeing the God. God is born on earth as man in every age, Sri Ramakrishna says. And this is what Sri Krishna has also said in the Bhagavad Gita, that God incarnates in every age whenever there is a decline of dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam dharmasya pradatmanam sujamyam. I come again and again and again in every age. So this is again the truth, ultimate truth that Sri Ramakrishna has taught us, that don't disbelieve in incarnations. Incarnations are there. And seeing an incarnation, praying, worshipping an incarnation is as good as seeing a God, is as good as worshipping the God. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.